like it would help everyone out a lot more than you'd believe.
So, your platform point regarding the 5 signatures per argument in council disempowers councilors to do their elected jobs. How will this negatively impact active debate during USC council meetings?
Now, this is an idea that I've casually thrown around. The point is to get people directly talking to students. That's why I kind of gave the caveat that only for the first month will I force counselors to talk to 5 people. I think that the underlying philosophy behind what I'm saying, the whole reason that I'm running, is that we keep talking about getting back in touch with the students, but I don't see why we ever need to lose touch with them. A counselor is an elected official, right? They're there to represent their people, but a lot of times the opinions that I hear, I don't think are representative of the students at large. I think that if I force them to substantiate their arguments with signatures, it's going to force them to 2 things. Do research beforehand and pay attention during the damn meetings. Because right now, no one does either. Or very few people do. The best counselors, you can see, they're like, I talked to this student, they brought this up, I want to make this into business. But a lot of them just kind of show up, go on their laptops, email out members announcements, and then go home.
So in your platform, you present a direct approach with students. You want to get in touch with them, you want to hear what they want, but at the same time, until today, we haven't seen anything from you. And your platform wasn't even available to the larger students. So can you please justify this contradiction in your strategy?
Absolutely. You didn't see my platform or me campaigning, but on the first couple days, I was just on campus, on the places I never go to, just accosting students randomly on the street in the random buildings, and just talking to them, saying, I want to run for USC president. Do you have any good ideas for what the USC can do? You know, while I was invisible to the USC media, I was not invisible to students. I think that I made a much more profound impact going out there and doing that thing. All of this campaigning stuff, the online videos, everything's prepared. It's coming out. I'm just going to do it slowly and over time. But when it comes to actually directly communicating to students, that's what I've been doing, and I find it kind of funny that it's been, I was called the mystery man. No one saw me. The Gazette didn't see me. BPC couldn't see me. I wasn't in the UCC. I think I'm the only candidate ever who was not in the UCC on the first day, because I was actually out with like a stupid balloon tied to my neck, like talking to engineers who are like very rarely really, talked to. I met probably hundreds of people, and in fact, I gained so many new platform ideas that I need to add a new section to my website under new stolen platform ideas from like good ideas from students. In one day of talking to people, I have 3 really awesome ideas that I'm going to put up and flesh out and research a little bit more.
So, we're going to continue on with the whole platform ideas.
Yeah.
Monthly parties in the presidential suite. We need to talk about it. Now, do you feel like this is simply perpetuating the stereotype that Western is just a huge party school instead of being this research-intensive university?
I think it's been years since someone has seriously considered Western to be a party school. After that whole Saugeen stripper incident, it's like the administration just shut down and sat down on this kind of thing. And Western is no longer known as a school that plays as hard as they work. Now we have this research-intensive university, and there's a lot of image. But after all, we're the USC. We're the Students' Council. We're not UWO. Administration can worry about the image of Western. USC should be concerned with giving students what they want. Why do downtown bars make so much money, whereas the Wave is always empty Saturday nights? Because they run cheap drink nights, because they get really sick DJs to play really cool music. This is something that we should be doing. I saw a yearbook from the 60s this summer while I was like cleaning out the archives, and it was like the pictures in the yearbooks were of like students getting drunk together, students hanging out together, and we have one day a year when we really have a very good community feel, and that's St. Patrick's Day. And that's because everyone is out on the streets. You meet tons of people wearing green, wearing purple, having a great time. Homecoming's pretty good too. It's just really early in the morning and it's pretty cold and everyone's out at pancake keggers. But like St. Patrick's Day, it's so visible that there is a very strong student community who loves to drink, who loves to party, more so than drink, and just have a good time as a community. And if we only have this once a year, twice a year, it's never gonna stick. But if we do it once a month at least, if we run Purple Fest, if we get concerts, I mean, we keep talking about why are we so disengaged from students. I know what I want as a student. I want to party a little bit more. I want to meet a whole bunch of new people in a casual social atmosphere, and we have no venue for it. That's ridiculous.
What is your primary concern with the USC right now?
My primary concern with the USC is that it's become a lame elitist corporation. We have a bunch of self-proclaimed politicians up there using words like transparency and accessibility and just whipping around jargon like it's nobody's business. And this isn't what the USC should really be. USC. There are times when we absolutely have to be professional. There are some issues that we just can't skirt around. You know, I'm not saying that we should just like party all the time upstairs. When it comes to governance, I'm very serious about it. You can ask anyone. You know, as speaker, I make a lot of jokes, but like I also regulate debate. It's important. But the way that the USC is now, like truly we have open forums and information sessions that like nobody attends. Nobody cares, because who wants to go to an information session or like an open forum? This doesn't sound like a pleasant time, right? In terms of losing touch with the students, it's because we keep saying, how do we talk to the students? As though they're a separate entity, as though they're some mass, like a bunch of barn animals. We're not. We're students, and we can just be asked. And it's not very difficult to catch our attention. We just have to be a little bit less concerned with always appearing prim and proper and professional, and start realizing that maybe we can have a little fun too.
Well, Omid, you know you have a lot of experience hanging around even the USC office. So, in your personal opinion, which is the executive position that really needs the most work for next year?
That's a tough question because I'm gonna say two of them. Right now, the University Affairs has a very difficult time separating her job advocating for students from the president's job. Whose responsibility is it to talk to the students and then lobby on their behalf, and to whom? You know, we have the municipality with Project Learn, which is something I'm going to do my very best to shut down because I think it's ridiculous that students are targeted by police, like we're fugitives. Is it the responsibility of the University Affairs to speak up to them, or is it the responsibility of the president? There's no clearly defined role, and every year for the last 5 years that I've seen, there's been tension between the two positions. And I think the communications officer needs a lot of work too. Back in the day, we had a legal affairs officer and a communications officer. Legal affairs would look at policies. That was disbanded in 2004 with the hiring of our general counsel. And the communications officer was simply responsible for communications and working with the Gazette. The Gazette has now, in the last 3-4 years, ballooned into this wonderful program. TV Western has been replaced by this wonderful program with excellent outreach, and you have a radio show, which is pretty awesome. But when it comes to the communications officer, now they have this weird thing where they're like, given the marketing directives, they're still kind of the president's secretary and speechwriter, and they have to worry about public relations and sometimes advocacy, and they have to worry about the website, and they have commissioner positions, and they have a soft team. It's too much, and it's all over the place. They don't have a vote on the executive council. There's a lot wrong with it, and it's only because they're like, hey, we need to market the USC. Who's going to do this? I don't know, just shovel it off on the comm officer. And it's not that there isn't time to do everything. It's just that you can't hire someone who's excellent in marketing and making websites and a good team leader. All we need is to separate some of the jobs out into a separate marketing directive with experts who are really good at marketing, and then we can keep the communications officer as someone who communicates to council or bridges the gap between the executive and council.